Everyone watching at home, yeah, this was just a gorgeous fall day. I'm not going to say it's the best day of the year, but I'm going to say if you gave me 364 just like it, Matt's laughing at me, I'd take it.
We always laugh at you.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, with you.
Listen, when we're having a beautiful day, to me, that's the most beautiful day of the year. That's my outlook.
You are very much a moment person.
That's how I live
my
in
life.
the now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We begin today at 5 with news that Bedford's middle school students will learn remotely. They'll do that for the rest of the week. This is because a staff member has tested positive for COVID, and that's created a shortage. In all, there are 10 active cases in the district.
There is a problem that many districts are juggling. It's the same one, but there might be some relief coming soon. Today, Pfizer announced it submitted its data to the FDA to get the vaccine approved for kids 5 to 11.
Sounds like we need our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, and it's a good thing she joins us now on the What's News set. Monica, good afternoon to you. So what does this news mean for parents?
Well, it means we're a couple of steps closer to getting kids vaccinated. So that's something, just 2 more steps to go before the kids can get the COVID vaccine. And potentially it could happen as early as Halloween. As of course, today Pfizer BioNTech submitted data to the Food and Drug Administration to get its COVID-19 vaccine approved for use in kids ages 5 to 11. So in the next week or so, Pfizer will formally apply for emergency use authorization. Meanwhile, the FDA will take several weeks to analyze Pfizer's clinical trial data involving more than 2,000 kids. Pfizer claims the kids were given 2 smaller doses of the vaccine, and the results produced antibody responses similar to those that 16 to 25-year-olds got who got the full dose. Now, side effects were also similar to what adults experienced. More importantly, they claim the vaccine was safe and well tolerated in smaller kids. I would expect the FDA to review this data with a fine-tooth comb, but there could be some wrenches thrown in. If there's a government shutdown, not sure how that would impact the FDA or if it could stall the data analysis. One would hope that's not going to happen or it would have no impact, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
There's always more than just the shutdown for the legislators when that takes place.
Yep.
Certainly. All right. We're talking about Pfizer BioNTech with this one. We know there's Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. Everybody's going for the same goal. Where are they on their child studies?
So, Moderna is actually studying kids from 6 months to 12 years, and they're trying to enroll more than 13,000 kids. They want to break them up into different age categories. They have said that they likely won't be ready to submit data until late fall or early winter. Johnson & Johnson says it has completed phases 1 and 2 studies and plans 4 phase 3 studies in pediatric populations. However, they gave no timeline on when their data will be released or when they would be ready to submit the vaccine for FDA authorization for kids. I would guess for Johnson & Johnson, probably late winter into spring. Also, one more thing I want to mention, because I've had a lot of people questioning me on this. Have you heard of Comirnaty?
No.
No, I have not.
Comirnaty is the brand name for the Pfizer vaccine. It is the same exact thing.
Oh, geez.
That can get confusing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you hear Comirnaty, it's just the name of the vaccine now.
All right. Well, thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
Because we know drugs sometimes have 2 names,
Yeah.
and
It's
confusing.
It'll be coming up again, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will.
Wash your hands.
All right, Rachel, thank you. All right, let's now check our daily COVID numbers. And as expected, we had our big Tuesday spike in new cases. Our number today, 7,283 cases. That is 600 above our rolling 21-day average. Our Tuesday number, often a big spike because weekend testing slows pretty dramatically.
And 424 more Ohioans were admitted to the hospital for COVID. In all, 3,701 patients are being treated. The good news here, that's 41 fewer patients than yesterday. Well, new tonight, Governor Mike DeWine is responding to California's ban on state-funded travel to Ohio. California officials announced the ban because of the clause passed in Ohio's state budget that allows healthcare workers to refuse to treat LGBTQ patients based on moral or religious beliefs. And today, Amani Abraham joins us with growing concerns on the impact this could have on Ohio's travel and tourism industry. Amani?
That's right, Betsy. California's Attorney General says the state is required to put these restrictions in place because of one of its own bills passed back in 2016. In a statement, he said that bill calls on California to act. Quote, when states discriminate against LGBTQ Americans, the California Department of Justice must act. California has done the same to 17 other cities, but concerns are growing. Destination Cleveland says it threatens their ability to attract meetings, conventions, and events. When asked about concerns and a response to California's ban, Governor DeWine had this to say.
That bill was not intended in any way to discriminate against anyone. That's the last thing we want to do. The day I took office, the night I took office, we've signed a number of executive orders banning any kind of discrimination. So that's not what we are all about. What we're all about is opportunity. And, no matter what your background is, no matter who you are, we want you to have opportunity in the state of Ohio. So California can do what California does. I can't control that.
Now, while Destination Cleveland says they haven't yet received any cancellations, they have had clients express concerns. California's ban would go into effect at the end of the month. I'm Manny Abraham, 3 News.
A lot of dollars and cents attached to this one. Certainly some action will be coming either way. Thanks so much, Manny.
Well, Betsy, we're one step closer to having a developed lakefront. Today, Cleveland City Council approved $2.5 million in matching funds for a preliminary impact study. The study will look at the Haslam family's vision for the lakefront. That includes extending a land bridge that will go from Mall C, which sits next to City Hall, all the way to connect the waterfront area around First Energy Stadium. ODOT previously approved the initial $2.5 million for the study. It will look at the impact on traffic for pedestrians, drivers, and mass transit. It's expected, the study, to start before the end of the year. If approved, and if this happens, Betsy, that could be a game changer because, as you know, the accessibility to the lakefront is a little bit impeded by roads and traffic and train tracks and everything else. This would be nice. This would be really nice, especially for walkers.
And it's access to First Energy Stadium, too. Let's put the bills on the table here, most certainly. I think about those iconic steps that go from near City Hall down over toward the, over the railroad tracks, down to the stadium. And they had to close those off for one reason or another. They've never opened them again. And so you have all the fans now having to funnel into the stadium from 3rd Street or 9th Street, and it just doesn't work.
It's never made sense. No. It really hasn't. So this would be nice. Now, as these things go, so they're commissioning a study, and they say the study will begin by the end of the year. We probably won't see construction on this for quite some time.
Oh, no, there's lots of planning. We've seen these plans before.
Yeah, it takes time. Speaking of taking time, snail mail is living up to its name, and it's about to get, if you can believe it, even worse. The post office announced it's making changes to its service at the end of the week. And if you're mailing things long distances, it will probably take longer for those letters to arrive. Brandon Simmons explains the changes we should expect. Brandon, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, Jay. Yeah, this is not good news for anybody who relies on the Postal Service. You remember the last time we talked about delays, it was during the pandemic, so we kind of tried to give them a free pass. They were overwhelmed with the amount of mail that hit the system. But these changes we're talking about now, these are going to be permanent, and they start this Friday, October 1st. Now, what we're talking about right now is first-class mail. That means mail that is sent in normal-sized envelopes with postage. For instance, we're talking about when you mail out your bills or when you send a greeting card to someone. But the post office says this new change will only affect mail that is sent over long distances, meaning if it would take you more than 3 hours to drive that piece of mail, that's the mail we're talking about, which would leave the majority of mail, they say 61% of it, unaffected. But for things like bills that typically go to another state, mail could take as much as 5 days to get to its destination. Now, the changes come as part of the post office's 10-year plan called Delivering for America, and it's supposed to improve reliability and predictability of mail delivery. Now, in other words, they're saying the 3-day service that they promise right now, they simply weren't able to meet, and it was costing them too much money to try to even do it in the first place. Now, remember that all of these changes do go into effect on October 1st for that first-class mail, but this is not supposed to affect packages. But of course, as we enter the holiday season, we know that those delays could come, especially if it's anything like what we saw during the pandemic, Jay.
All right, Brandon Simmons live. Brandon, we appreciate it.
Well, if you are not a fan of snakes, you may want to hold out on this next story. North Ridgeville police, yes, North Ridgeville, Ohio, posted this video to Facebook after they got a call that a diamondback rattlesnake was on the loose on Lorraine Road. Hello. Now, the Facebook post, which is actually very funny, said they got a lot of calls about big snakes that turn out to be little garter snakes, so they really weren't expecting much. Then they saw that bad boy. The good news, it's not a rattlesnake. He's a 6-foot-long rat snake. They're called rat snakes because they eat rats. Whew, that's a big snake. Officer John Mezzo, who has chased down everything from cows to kangaroos. There's a lot happening over there in North Ridgeville. He was able to wrangle the snake and relocate him to a very safe area where the Ridgeville police say he will spend out his days chasing rodents.
Wait, his name is John? Is that his name? Officer John?
Officer John.
I want to get him on the program to tell us about the time he chased a kangaroo around North Ridgeville.
We need more details on the kangaroo story.
And does he get hazard pay?
I don't know. You could see him like snap back with trying to get the, and you put the thing in a paper bag. I mean, obviously, you got to.
You got to work with what you have.
Play the hand you're dealt, right?
Yeah.
This is what I have to put him in. Little tiny grocery sack, very, very large, probably rather ticked off snake. I don't think those two go so well together, but looks like he got in there.
I give him props, man. He doesn't even appear to be phased in the least bit. Here's the other thing.
Woo.
Do we want to catch that snake?
Yeah.
What's worse, a rat or a snake?
Well, that's what he's put it in place where it has access to rats that is not
Okay.
near people, hopefully.
All right. Well, I don't want rats near people either.
I'm glad it's not a diamondback, that's for sure.
Yeah, we dodged a bullet on that one.
All right, next for us here on What's New. Apps that can track your movements are most likely on your phone. We all know that, but we have step-by-step instructions on how you can block the tracking.
Interesting. And country star Alan Jackson reveals more about his health condition, for which there is no cure. Kira Cotton has the details. That's next in Pop Break.
And we got to get an idea what's happening with this forecast. We've had some changeable weather already today, Matt.
Yeah, things pretty good in North Ridgeville, though, Betsy. 68 degrees, nice wind out of the southeast, 9 miles per hour right now for all the snakes over there. Your fall sports forecast this evening looking good. We're going to drop quickly this evening. We've got dry air, high pressure. You know that's a recipe for a chilly night. We've got more chilly nights to come this week. We've got them in the forecast coming up.
You know what that means. It is Tech Tuesday here on What's New, and we have two stories that could be life-changing in very different ways. First up, it is no secret that your apps are watching you everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, really.
It is.
It's because we enable permissions when we download the apps to share data without giving a second thought to it. We just hit go, 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 and then we never read it. Well, if you don't want Facebook and other apps knowing your location, even when you're not using them, follow these steps. It's actually pretty easy. If you're an Apple user, go to Settings, scroll to Privacy, and tap on Location Services. The first thing you're going to see there is that slider, and that's the one that means apps can track you. If it's on, turn it off. If you want to allow certain apps to track you, you just click on that app and select from one of the options that you see here on your screen. You can either say never when you're using the app or all the time.
By the way, shout out for the perfectly placed dog moment there with Mia on the screen. Okay, Android users. Mia is our producer Monique's dog, who's so hilarious. Anyway, Android users. Okay, settings menu and find location. Tap app permission, and that's going to show you that same list of apps that can access your location at any time. You can set it up for only while you're using it or when you give it permission. So one permission at a time, if you will. If you want to change the setting, hold the app down on your phone and then go to permissions and location. Then you can select it and how you want the app to track you. I have it turned off on a lot of apps, and the ones that really drive me bananas is the shopping stores.
I don't have
I'm
those
sure
apps.
you have lots on yours.
I don't have those. So so it knows when you're near a store.
It basically, they say it will help guide you through the store, but they know when you're by a store and you'll have a magical notification that pops up like, hey, there's a sale, and the tractor beam then comes on and draws you into the store for the sale. I've had it happen.
I'm sure you have.
But the cool part is you can actually turn off that location and you don't get those notifications, but every time you open the app, it tells you, hey, you don't have your location turned on.
Yeah, that can be annoying. They're watching us, Bets.
I know.
They're watching us. All right, let's switch now to electric cars, and it appears that Ford is really leading the way now amongst auto dealers, automakers in America when it comes to the production of electric cars. Ford announcing yesterday it plans to dramatically increase its production of chargeable cars. It's pledging that within 9 years, 40% of their entire fleet will be battery powered.
It's not a bad thing. It's also spending another $11 billion to build new plants in Tennessee and Kentucky. 113 years after the old Model T hit the road, Henry Ford's great-grandson says this is Ford's new Model T moment.
Because everything's changing. If my great-grandfather saw our industry 5 years ago, it would be very recognizable to him. Now we're on the cusp of a revolution.
Right now, Ford's all-electric version of the F-150 is the best-selling vehicle in America. 150,000 orders. So this is a big game changer. We still have to figure out, from an electric grid standpoint, how we will produce all of the electricity that will charge all of these electric vehicles. Problem for people far smarter than us to figure out.
Well, and the nice thing is the government's pitching in and they are giving tax credits for charging stations and whatnot. So there is some kind of an incentive. So far, at least to my knowledge, there's not like a specific, like the iPhone plug versus the Android plug. Good luck finding that.
Yeah, no, I hope that's universal.
It's all about hyperchargers and the speed of the charge rather than hopefully the plug.
All right, it's coming. It's coming.
I know.
All right, boy, today would have been a beautiful day to walk. You didn't need a car, you didn't need an electric car, or you just get out there and walk. It was gorgeous.
Or scooter. I love those scooters. You know that. I scootered to my
You had a funny
yesterday.
episode with the scooter yesterday. Matt, she was not a happy camper when she showed up at Progressive Field for the live shot yesterday.
You get Betsy on two wheels.
She was being charged for
it's wicked.
She was being charged for her lime, even though she had turned it in. She was not happy.
I only sent 10 messages to customer service.
Weather word today is battery.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, have fun.
We'll get that into the weather forecast for sure. But you guys mentioned it, beautiful today, and we had that changeable sky. Started with the clouds, even a little drizzle this morning in spots as that frontal boundary went through. But it is through. We've got a nice northeast breeze blowing in. Still kind of warm down to the south, mid to upper 70s as you get down towards Dover, the Carrollton, Minerva area, out towards Louisville. Meanwhile, the rest of us sitting in the upper 60s. The heat is still there, but it's been kind of compressed down to the south. Much different. Head down I-65 down towards Nashville, sitting at 86 right now. We've got 90s in the plains. It's warmer in areas of southern Canada as you get north of the Dakotas than it is here. And this pattern's going to stick around. Remember, we've got that stuck pattern in place. You've got the heat in the plains. We have that cold front that brought that reinforcing shot of cooler air into northeast Ohio. That will be with us. But as we look off towards the north, there's a series of high pressures that will continue to build south. And as they do, they will continue to bring that cooler air in. So although it's warm just off towards our west, that's not going to get here anytime soon. Morning temperatures next couple days. This is at Hopkins. Keep in mind, if you're inland, areas of Wayne County out towards the east, Geauga County as well, we're going to be well into the 40s tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, and Friday morning. We get a little warm up this weekend as we have some moisture coming back in. But in terms of your National Design Hour by hour forecast, just gorgeous. Doesn't get much better than this. Clear skies tonight, clear skies tomorrow. Nice blue skies. No wildfire smoke to deal with. Our atmosphere's cleared out. And you can see tomorrow night, not quite cold enough to have to charge the battery in the morning as you get up Thursday morning. We'll be in the 40s, though. So kind of chilly. Need an extra blanket or extra log on the fire. Here you go. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Just pure beauty across northeast Ohio. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There are some changes this weekend, though. Our system's speeding up just a little bit. So we do have some rain being introduced to the forecast Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk more about that in our next half hour. We'll be right back after this.
Skittles fact that I threw in the tag because I didn't have anything else. Oh, bro, that's fine. I didn't want to say that anyway.
There's your music. For fans of country music star Alan Jackson, finally, we're getting an answer on his health ailments.
And Will Smith has a rather big admission about his marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith. Kara Cotton joins us to break it all down. Hi, Kara.
Hi. So that's right, Jay and Betsy. We're going to be learning more about the health condition that has been impacting the country music star Alan Jackson. In an exclusive interview with the Today Show this morning, Jackson revealed that he has Charcot-Marie tooth disease, or CMT, a degenerative nerve condition. The 62-year-old says that he was diagnosed about 10 years ago after he inherited it from his father. However, the impact of the illness on his balance and ability to walk have become more obvious. While there's no cure for CMT, Jackson says when it comes to music, he plans to continue to do as much as he can. And we're now learning more about Will Smith's marriage to Jada Pinkett from his perspective. The two have been married for more than 20 years, but in that time, they've had some spicy moments. But in a new interview for GQ, Will says he and Jada at one point had a non-monogamous marriage. He even shares that he wished that he had multiple girlfriends, including A-listers such as Halle Berry and Misty Copeland, despite his marital status. All in all, Will says it's a complex situation, but his unconventional marriage to Jada is what works best for both of them. And congratulations are in order for Ronda Rousey. The UFC champion and Olympic medalist can now add mother to her list of accomplishments. The 34-year-old has welcomed a sweet baby girl into the world with husband Travis Brown, and her name certainly packs a punch. Lakea, I won't try to say the middle name out of respect for the family, but Lakea means sacred light and pays homage to Travis's Hawaiian roots. Congratulations to Ronda and Travis on their new addition. And if you're like me, I have the sweet tooth the size of my head, which is big. But Skittles is bringing back the original lime flavor Skittle. It'll return next month after an 8-year hiatus caused by green apple. Ooh. Are you guys Skittle fans?
I love Skittles, but I didn't know it ever went away.
Oh, they certainly switched it. You can definitely tell the taste difference.
Oh, okay. I guess I must not be a connoisseur like that. Yeah. I just buy the bag and just pop them in my mouth and enjoy them.
I buy the bag and get all the purples and the red ones out, and then I leave the bag for everybody else.
I'm with you. I'm a separator too.
Yeah. The green apple was not my favorite, so the lime, I'm excited that's back.
I like them all,
man. It's a good stand-in.
We'll taste test for you, Jay.
All right, very good.
Yeah, certainly.
Don't forget your gum.
She totally had to put her gum down. All right, we just busted you. Okay, anyway. Ahead of the second half hour of What's New, Myles Garrett paid the best game of his 4-year-plus career on Sunday. He sits down with voice of the Browns, Jimmy Donovan, coming up.
We love you, Key. We love you. And the number of people experiencing stress has skyrocketed, of course, since the start of the pandemic. So, our Emily Mayfield set out to find the best ways to de-stress. And she's going to tell us what she found coming up.
Well, that looks very interesting. And LeBron James has always professed his NFL fandom for two teams, the Browns and the Dallas Cowboys. Well, he clarified his real feelings last night during Monday Night Football. We'll tell you what he said.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
3 things you need to know now at 5:30. Today, Pfizer-BioNTech submitted data to the Food and Drug Administration to get its COVID-19 vaccine approved for children ages 5 to 11. In the next few weeks, Pfizer will formally apply for emergency use authorization. Meanwhile, the FDA will take several weeks to analyze Pfizer's clinical trial data. The company claims kids were given 2 smaller doses of the vaccine, and the results produced antibody responses similar to those in 16 to 25-year-olds who got the full dose. Side effects were similar to what adults experienced. More importantly, they claim the vaccine was safe and well tolerated in smaller kids.
Also today, Clevelanders said goodbye to former Bishop Anthony Pilla. His funeral mass was held earlier at the Cathedral of St. John Evangelist. The mass of Christian burial concluded 2 days of events memorializing his life. He led the diocese for 25 years. He died 1 week ago today at 88 years old.
And we're one step closer to having a developed lakefront. Today, Cleveland City Council approved $2.5 million in matching funds for a preliminary impact study. The study will take a look at the Haslam family's vision for the lakefront, and that includes extending a land bridge from Mall C, which sits next to City Hall, to connect the waterfront area around First Energy Stadium. ODOT previously approved the initial $2.5 million for the study. It will look at the impact on traffic for pedestrians, drivers, as well as mass transit. That study is expected to start before the end of the year.
With that, we welcome you back now to our bottom half hour here of What's New, and we get right to our top talker because I'm really excited about this.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett had a dominating performance on Sunday against the Chicago Bears. 26-6 Browns win, but as we know, it's a team, not one person that makes it happen.
Well, it is a team, but tell that to Justin Fields.
Oh,
he
so
felt
good.
like the whole team was number 95. Everyone's still buzzing about it, and why not? Myles racked up 4.5 sacks in what I think is clearly his best game as a pro. The voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, sat down with number 95 for an exclusive interview today, and I would imagine, Jim, that he's still beaming from his play on Sunday.
Yeah, but today was about something completely different for him. This is a very, very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett has a love of the arts, and in particular, he has a love of art. He loves poetry too, but he's really into art, and it becomes very personal for him. So he unveiled today, with the help of an artist that he commissioned, Lauren Pierce, he unveiled his second piece of work in his Voices of Clee presentation. And there it is on the side of the United Way of Greater Cleveland building in Playhouse Square. What is it? It's his grandmother and him as a boy. His grandmother had an amazing influence on his life. She never got to see him play in the NFL, but he walked the line that she drew for him, and so therefore he wanted her drawn with him. And so this is the presentation today. He was thrilled with it. Nothing about the 4.5 sacks from last Sunday today. It was all about grandma and the great influence that she has had on his life, and now that we have it in downtown Cleveland. I sat with him in the lobby of the Palace Theater today, and he was floored by what he saw.
So I don't think there's a better spot to put up someone significant to me than a spot like this. I think everyone should be able to see it, view it, and as they're going in to see a beautiful show, see a beautiful piece of art, and take it all in.
When people see it, they're going to say, this is an incredible piece of art. When you saw it for the first time, what did you think?
I thought it was amazing. I thought my dad would love it. I thought back to that day. It's just kind of, we live in those moments, and happy to be able to give some of those moments to people in Cleveland just by being able to see them day to day.
I just have to ask you this, okay? It's late in the ball game the other day, and all of a sudden in that stadium, 65,000 people getting ready to celebrate that win. And there's that chant, Myles Garrett.
Crowd chanting Myles Garrett rhythmically.
What was that like?
Well, I've never had it in my life, so that was a different experience than I've ever had. I felt the love like never before in this city, and it's more than reciprocated. Now I want to continue to give back to this community, give back on the field and off the field, and I just want to keep on making this city proud.
He was visibly emotional.
Oh, he's very emotional all day long. He was very emotional about that chant. He said he was floored by it. He couldn't believe it. And he bowed to the crowd and thanked the crowd for it. And I think it's probably the first of many times it's happened. Back to the 4.5 sacks. He was pretty happy with that. But really, a very touching thing. If you remember last year, a bunch of school kids during the Browns' run towards the playoffs painted something. And they said, gosh, it would be great if some of the Browns came out and saw it. And he heard that. And
he did.
And he masked up during COVID. And he went and he saw it and was with the kids. He's very into art. He wants to see people drive down to Playhouse Square going in to see a great show that we have down there in the theater district. And he wants maybe a young kid to say, gosh, that's great. I think I can do that.
Wow. We're lucky to have him.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean on the football field. I mean in the community, too.
He went on and said today that it's things like Sunday afternoon and things like this that have him incredibly rooted in this city.
Thank goodness.
And that he wants to live here through his professional playing career, but then he wants to stay here, too.
We're okay with that.
Yeah.
And I would imagine somebody's going to see him occasionally sitting at Playhouse Square, staring up at that building.
Absolutely, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
All right, very good. Jimmy, thank you.
You got
Jimmy.
it.
Next up, Ohio State is upping its game to make students feel safe near campus. The device that they're giving students for free.
Then Emily Mayfield is back, and this time she's helping us relax. Her tips to de-stressing and taking time for yourself. But first, Matt's here. He's got his weather in a jiffy.
So guys, today's going to be a little bit of a stretch. All right.
Okay.
That's not abnormal.
Just want to figure. I'm running out of gifs. It's a unicorn shooting lightning out of the, top of the unicorn
why
horn.
not?
Because this is magical, and so is our weather. It's very magical. How long does the magic last, everybody? We've got the next 7 days for you coming up.
Oh, you wizard, you.
Look at that power.
I like what you like.
Oh, Tuesday afternoon. I got to tell you, kids going to school, clouds, look like it was going to shower. Coming home from school, sunshine, let's go play.
Yeah, I was walking Emmy to the school this morning, and I always tell her the forecast. She's like, I don't care, Dad. But I was telling her, I said, honey, you tell your classmates these clouds are going away. This afternoon, recess outside. And you know what? It took a little while, but those clouds finally cleared.
It happened.
Anyway, I'm glad I could talk weather with you every day, Betsy Kling, because no one in my household cares. Sunset times next 4 Tuesdays. You've noticed it's been getting darker, obviously, sooner, so want to kind of catch us up to speed. We're losing a lot of daylight. We know that. This isn't negativity forecasts here, but I do want you to know that in a week we're talking 7 o'clock sunset. Beyond that, we're losing about 10 minutes a week after that, and that will slow down as we get towards the winter solstice ever so slowly. But October 25th, 6:30, so cherish the daylight hours, right? But even the nighttime hours are nice when we've got temperatures like this, 60s, 70s, nice wind out of the north. Had the cold front move through early on this morning. We've got the dry air filtering in. Dew points in the 40s and 50s, a little bit higher down to the south. Keep an eye on this tonight, because temperatures are going to approach these dew point numbers that are slowly coming down. We may have some areas of ground fog tonight. Could be locally dense. You know what I'm talking about. You get out in those farm fields, those rural roads, you get that thick fog that's just very brief. We may have that tonight and tomorrow. Reason why, look at the winds. Calm tonight as high pressure sets in. Clear skies, not a lot of movement to the atmosphere, still a little bit of ground moisture. That is a high possibility. National Design Hour by our forecast, not picking up on the fog, but picking up on the cool temperatures tomorrow morning. 40s for many of you inland away from the lake by afternoon. More sunshine tomorrow, I think up near 70 degrees. Likely low 70s down to the south. Only thing we're watching tomorrow, couple cumulus clouds may come in Ashtabula County tomorrow night, so stay tuned for that. Things do turn active as we get into the weekend. So front settled down to the south. We've got a big heat ridge out towards the plains. That's not going anywhere. Pattern's stuck right now, so we've got the cooler air in place. We've got a series of high pressures that will continue to funnel in that cooler air. So we're going to stay on the comfortable side next couple days. But in terms of next chance of rain, notice how the rain holds off towards the west. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's Saturday that this starts to get some legs on it. So we're going to introduce rain chances later in the day Saturday. Sunday looks like a pretty good bet of some showers, and that will likely linger into next week as we turn unsettled. So if you're hoping for some rainfall around here, it does look like it will finally get here. Next week looking a little rainier than this week. Union Home Mortgage 7 days, sunshine tomorrow, sunshine Thursday, sunshine Friday, just gorgeous. Saturday we increase those clouds. There's your rain chance. And again, Sunday, better chance of rain out of the 2 days. But Jay, definitely turning a little bit more raindroppy next week versus our forecast this week.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Right now, time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. We have a LeBron James appearance today. Let's say hello to our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Hi, Steph.
Hi there, Jay. Yes, we do. Before that, though, Ohio State University is doing something interesting. They are handing out free personal safety devices to students to try to deter a recent rise in violent crime. Now, these aren't weapons by any means, but they are alarms, and when they're activated, they can be heard from about 200 feet away. They're travel size, and when the person no longer feels threatened, they can stop the alarm from going off. Now, the hope is here, the loud noise will stop a potential threat by letting other people nearby know something could be going on. This was a big week for a lot of Browns players, and especially rookie linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He is up for the Pepsi Zero Sugar Rookie of the Week award thanks to making 4 tackles, defending 2 passes, and sharing a quarterback sack with defensive end Myles Garrett, all in just over half of the defensive plays for the Browns in Sunday's win over the Chicago Bears. To vote for Owusu-Koramoah, you can find the link at WKYC.com. And here's the LeBron James part. He is defending his Browns fandom. He was getting called out for photos in Dallas Cowboys gear and also on the sidelines at Los Angeles Rams games. I think he was there yesterday. But on ESPN's Manning cast with Peyton and Eli Manning last night, he said, "No, I'm a Browns fan." He did say he grew up being a Cowboys fan, but he's down with the Browns and he wants them to win and he's looking forward to them being good this year. Now, he does show his support on Twitter. So that is something, you know, it's one thing to say it and to tweet it, Jay and Betsy, but it'd be nice to see him show up at a game or two.
Yeah.
He does occasionally.
He does. You know, he's kind of a tormented sports soul because one time I remember at an Indians-Yankees playoff game.
Are you going to say the Yankees hat that he wore?
I'm going to
totally
say that.
remember that.
I mean, I was watching from New York. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then he showed up, I think this was in 2008. There's the Yankee hat at an Indians playoff game.
People were having a heart attack.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
And he's excited about it. Hold up.
Yes, he was very excited about it. And then in 2008, for a Browns-Cowboys game here in Cleveland, he shows up on the Cowboys sideline. I think he was playing catch with their quarterback. It might have been Tony Romo at the side at the time, wearing a Yankees hat. So what I figured out about LeBron is when the Indians are good, he's all in on the Indians. But I bet you this playoff season he's going to have that Yankee hat out again. And when the Browns are good, the Cowboys were just a fad of mine. I'm a Browns fan. Wear it proudly all the time.
That's what we would hope. I mean, certainly he appreciated us wearing Cavaliers instead of, Golden State or something
I'm just saying, the man can afford a Browns jersey. Just put it, would it hurt you to put it on?
Yeah,
See it.
wear it. Oh, he thinks brown and orange together is the ugliest color combo ever. He talked about that a couple years ago at a news
Wear
conference.
brown or orange then.
Yeah.
You can
Just
choose.
pick one. That's fine. There you go.
I love this. I love this. I love this. Today's Worth the Watch needs a brief setup. After 20 seasons and 6 Super Bowl wins in New England, Tom Brady, of course, left the Patriots. He went to the Buccaneers. That was ahead of last season. What did he do? He did what Tom does. He won a Super Bowl for Tampa Bay. But here's where it gets good. Tom goes back to New England Sunday night in what many believe is the game of the season. NBC's promo for Sunday's game will give you chills. Watch this.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet. So hello from the other side. At least I can say that I've tried.
Who knew Adele wrote that song for Bill and Tom?
Oh, well played.
I had no idea. Man, I'm telling you, that is going to be probably one of the best watched, the most watched NFL regular season games this year.
The Belichick just straight face
The scowl. That was him after the Patriots did something good,
That was him after every.
That's his happy look.
His children were born.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He's the most joyless person I've ever met.
He's very private about his moments of joy.
Yes, he is. Okay, that game airs right here on Channel 3, Sunday, kickoff 8:20. I'll be watching.
So cool.
I'll be watching.
Well, nearly 60% of adults are stressed daily. So our Emily Mayfield is introducing us to treatments to help you de-stress without breaking the bank.
Then a group of kids have a lot to be excited about. We're going to show you the big upgrade one of their favorite places right here in Cleveland got today. pandemic has been stressful for everyone. In fact, the number of people feeling stressed jumped 14% over the last year because of the pandemic. 60% of us say that we feel stress regularly.
Absolutely, but there are ways that you can de-stress and take time for yourself. Our special correspondent Emily Mayfield is exploring some methods of relaxation today.
Self-care is so important for us, not only for our physical health, but our mental health as well. Today, I'm showing you 2 unique ways to help take care of yourself, starting here in Westlake at Great Lakes Health and Wellness. I am here with Dr. Dickerson. If you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about what you do here at Great Lakes.
I'm the acupuncturist here. I specifically use the ear for my medium.
For those who aren't familiar with acupuncture, it's a lot of little needles. Kind of tell us about how it works.
If you look at it in Chinese theory, our body has energy, or qi as they call it, and you want it to be constantly flowing, and when it's not flowing, then you're out of balance. So we use needles that are like hair thin, and we insert them into specific points, and then we try to put the body back into balance.
For those who have never tried acupuncture, what's the consensus on the pain level?
It doesn't hurt. It's like a prick. Once it's inserted, you're going to feel it, and by the time it registers in your brain that it's there, it's already gone.
And what are some of the noticeable benefits that people feel?
For pain management, you will have an immediate decrease in pain. For stress, you will be very, very relaxed, and you will definitely sleep very well that night.
Who doesn't want that? You guys know I love to be the guinea pig, so let's give it a shot.
Okay.
No pun intended.
So I'm going to do a grounding level on you. You'll have 5 needles in ear, and if it hurts, just let me know so I can pull it back.
Okay. And
then we'll lay you back for like 20 minutes.
Thank you so much, Dr. D. The needles are out. I feel amazing, so relaxed. I'm gonna hang here for a bit and I'll catch you guys at the next spot. Well, I feel great, and now it's time for round 2 of self-care, this time in the form of dynamic cupping. We're here in Lakewood at Raw Aesthetics, and I am so excited. Let's go. I am here with the owner of Raw Aesthetics, Kristen. Tell us a little bit about what we're doing today.
What we're going to be doing today is dynamic cupping, and how we're going to do it for you today is totally different than what normally you would see with cupping.
I'm a huge fan of cupping, but I do more stationary cupping where the cups are placed and they bruise and stuff, so this is totally different than that.
Not totally different, because it still is the same concept of that decompression. However, instead of leaving them stationary for periods of time, we're going to be gliding. The point of it is to take that tissue, separate it, and bring oxygenated blood flow, but it's really about movement.
What are some effects that people can feel like when they leave from a session?
We want it to be like you're experiencing something that goes on for weeks after, mentally, physically, all of it. So that's the really cool thing with this type of cupping, because of how it works on the layers of your tissue.
Does it hurt?
It should not hurt. What you will feel sometimes, if you have an adhesion or like scar tissue, it can feel a little pinchy.
Well, I am pumped. Should we go get started?
We should.
Let's go. Okay. So good. Well, I feel amazing. Self-care is so important, whether it's acupuncture, dynamic cupping, or something else. Take time out of every day for you.
All right, my first thought
is
on the acupuncture thing, because I've not had acupuncture. I know you said you have. My first thought is I would look like a freaking porcupine in that place. I'd be like, put more. I'm still stressed. More. I would. It would be a total porcipine.
Well, they can put the needles as many as they need.
Needle me up, bro. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Come on, come at me.
I've used it a couple times for a shoulder injury I had, and I found relief.
Okay.
I did. I don't think I swear by it, but I would try it again.
I think there's a lot of people that, they get to the point they just want to try something, and maybe even if it just even takes your mind off of your stress for a few moments, there's relief in that.
If it's mental and it works, then it works.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. The cupping thing I've never done. My son has done it a lot. Athletes use it quite a bit for injuries. And he swears by that.
It's intense.
It's intense, but he says it works. So there you go. Okay, the services are somewhat affordable. Acupuncture starts at about $120 for a new patient consultant.
And the dynamic cupping starts at about $100 for an hour session. It's pretty nominal with other massages. To follow all of Emily's adventures online, you can text the word Emily to 216-344-3300. We're going to send you a link You can also use the hashtag EmilyExplores on social if you have any places that you think Emily should check out.
Next, some very deserving kids in Northeast Ohio got quite the surprise. We're going to have their reaction and what they got. That's ahead in Show Us Something Good.
To protest a bill. Al, how are you? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell.
Hi, mic check 1, 2, 3. These kids' faces say it all. The teens at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio.
Check 1, 2, 3. Brandon's microphone. We're talking about post office. Check.
Yep. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yes, testing. I'm Annie Abraham here in studio talking about California's.
Well, these kids' faces say it all. The teens at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio got quite the surprise. This afternoon, they got to see their newly renovated club here in Cleveland. Aaron's installed nearly $20,000 worth of new electronics, couches, tables, and more. This is the company's 47th upgrade nationwide.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
We're out of time. Back tomorrow at 5, and we hope to see you then.
What matters most with Russ and Lena starts right now.
Now at 6, one step closer. On the heels of newly approved booster shots, Pfizer reveals a new timetable to get the COVID vaccine to the youngest of patients. Also, governor's message.
California can do what California does. I can't control that.
Governor DeWine speaking out on California's decision to ban all state-funded travel to